Have you ever wondered why some people try to break others when they see them rising? Why the world feels like it turns colder the moment you decide to chase something greater? The truth is, not everyone is rooting for you. And sometimes, the very people you thought would support your growth are the ones who light the match, hoping the fire will consume you. But here's the twist. They don't realize they're only fueling your rise. When life starts throwing flames in your direction, it's easy to panic. It's human nature. The brain is wired for survival, not greatness. So the moment you feel pain, rejection, or betrayal, your first reaction is to escape it. That's normal. But it's not where your story ends. That pain, that's your wake-up call. That betrayal, it's showing you who never deserved a seat at your table. And that fire they hoped would destroy you, it can become the very thing that forges your strongest self. It's easy to say, rise when you're not burning. But when you're in the middle of the heat, when your heart is broken, your mind is exhausted, and your confidence is shattered, everything feels like too much. And still, deep inside you, there's something whispering, don't quit. That whisper is your power. That whisper is your future self pulling you forward. Because the fire that hurts now is the same fire that melts the old version of you. The one that doubted, feared, and stayed silent, and reveals the version that refuses to bow down. Human psychology proves this. Pressure creates transformation. The brain learns fastest when it's uncomfortable. Struggle rewires your beliefs. That means every time someone doubts you, mocks you, or tries to hold you down, your mind has a choice: shut down or level up. And the moment you choose to rise instead of retreat, something powerful happens. You stop being the victim of your story and start becoming the author of your future. So if you're feeling broken, exhausted, tired of being misunderstood, don't turn away from that fire. Walk through it. Step into it. Because on the other side of it is not the end, it's the beginning of a version of you no one saw coming. And here's your reward for watching this till the end: clarity. Clarity about who you are and who you're meant to be. Because by the end of this, you'll realize something they never wanted you to know. You were never meant to burn. You were meant to rise. Let the flames come. Because you're not made of glass, you're made of something far stronger. And every second you spend rising through what was meant to break you, you become unstoppable. Keep watching. This story isn't about the fire. It's about the rise that follows. Every insult they threw at you wasn't just an attack. It was a reflection of their own fear. People mock what they don't understand. They try to shrink what they feel threatened by. The moment you start rising, you unknowingly expose the insecurities of those who've settled for less. That's why their words sting. Not because they're true, because they're trying to drag you back into a place you've already outgrown. But the question is, will you let them? The human mind craves safety, approval, belonging. So when others reject you, criticize you, or isolate you, it triggers something deep inside. It makes you question your worth. That's normal. But that's also your test. Growth will always cost you comfort. And anyone who has ever done anything meaningful has walked through this fire of being misunderstood. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself when no one else does. Rejection doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. Sometimes it's confirmation that you're finally stepping into who you're meant to be. It's painful, yes. But pain has a way of focusing your vision. When the noise gets loud, you start hearing your own voice more clearly. That's the gift in all of this. You begin to separate your truth from their opinions. And suddenly, their judgment no longer defines you. It fuels you. Your brain is capable of incredible transformation. Neuroscience proves that repeated adversity, when faced with the right mindset, actually strengthens your emotional endurance. That means you are becoming mentally unshakable. But here's the catch. You must stop internalizing the fire as punishment. It's preparation. The pain is not a wall. It's a mirror. It's showing you what needs to be left behind and what needs to be built stronger. You weren't meant to avoid the flame. You were meant to walk through it fully awake. They'll say you've changed. Good. That's what growth looks like. They'll say you're too intense, too focused, too different. Good. That means you're not staying small anymore. Every comment, every laugh behind your back, every door slammed in your face. It all becomes the weight you carry to build strength. No fire, no forge, no resistance, no muscle. No rejection, no redirection. So take a breath. Let their words burn, not your spirit. Let their doubt become the reason you work harder, dig deeper, and rise higher. Because the moment you stop waiting for their approval and start living in your truth, the fire loses its power to destroy you. It becomes your power source. You are not who they say you are. You are who you decide to become in the face of what they said. This is not the end. This is fuel. The rise has just begun. There comes a moment when the pain no longer breaks you. It builds you. When the same flames that once scared you begin to light your path instead, that's when everything changes. Not outside, but inside. You stop asking for peace from the world, and you start finding it within yourself. The most powerful transformation doesn't happen when life is easy. It happens when you're backed into a corner and still choose to rise. The fire reveals what comfort hides. When everything is falling apart, when people walk away, when nothing feels certain, that's when you finally meet yourself. And what you find isn't weakness. It's strength that was always there, just buried under years of fear, doubt, and pretending. Sometimes the worst thing that ever happens to you becomes the beginning of the best version of you. Because the fire forces you to shed everything fake, and only the real survives. There is something called post-traumatic growth, a psychological truth that some people don't just recover from pain, they rise above because of it. They become more focused, more courageous, more grateful, more alive. That's not luck. That's a choice. And you have that same choice now. You can use every betrayal, every failure, every disappointment, not to harden your heart, but to strengthen your soul. Not to make you bitter, but to make you bolder. The world often teaches us that strength looks loud, dominance, pride, shouting to be heard. But real strength is quiet. It's the discipline to keep showing up when no one notices. It's the resilience to keep moving when you're exhausted. It's the grace to smile with a scarred heart. And it's the power to stand tall in silence while others try to bury you. You're not strong because you avoided the fire. You're strong because you learned how to breathe through it. Every time you rise from what was meant to break you, you rewrite your story. You give yourself permission to evolve. You begin to stop living as a reaction to your past and start living as a reflection of your purpose. You no longer need their validation because you've seen what you can survive. And that knowledge, that experience, becomes your anchor. You realize that what they did to you doesn't define you. What you choose to do next does. You've carried enough pain. Now it's time to carry power. You've survived enough storms. Now it's time to create your calm. You've listened to their voices long enough. Now it's time to trust your own. The fire wasn't a punishment. It was your preparation. And from this point forward, you rise not to prove them wrong, but to prove to yourself that nothing can stop you, not even the fire they lit. It's easy to want comfort. It's natural to crave ease. But comfort never made anyone unstoppable. Growth lives in the stretch. It lives in the tension between who you are and who you could be. And that tension, it hurts. It pulls at your mind. It shakes your emotions. It tests your patience. But that's the work. That's the cost of becoming someone that even your past self wouldn't recognize. The truth is, your brain doesn't like change. It sees discomfort as danger. But that's where the breakthrough hides. The more you step into discomfort, the more your mind adapts. You stop running from resistance and start using it. Pain becomes information. Failure becomes feedback. And discomfort becomes the invitation to level up. Every time you stretch beyond what feels safe, you teach yourself that you are capable of far more than you thought. This is why some people stay stuck. They fear the fire. They choose the illusion of safety over the possibility of greatness. But not you. Because if you're still here, listening, breathing, rising, it means something inside you refuses to settle. Something in you knows that purpose isn't found in comfort. It's found in challenge, in taking the hard step, in choosing the hard road, even when the easy one is right there. You see, fire doesn't just burn, it reveals. It reveals who's pretending and who's committed, who's talking and who's walking. And if you've walked through the pain, through the silence, through the fear, and you're still standing, you've earned something most people will never know. Grit. Not the fake kind that looks good in quotes, but the real kind that builds in the dark when no one is watching. Psychology calls it resilience, and it's one of the greatest predictors of success in life. Resilience isn't talent, it's not luck. It's the result of struggle met with a decision to continue. It's emotional muscle built from lifting pain over and over again until it no longer crushes you. It's what separates those who wish from those who rise. So keep walking, even when your legs shake. Keep showing up, even when your heart is heavy. Keep trusting the process, even when you can't see the outcome. Because this fire, as hard as it is your transformation. And one day, the same pain you're walking through will be the story that lights someone else's path. You won't just rise for you. You'll rise for those watching, for those waiting, for those who still don't know they can. And when that day comes, you won't even thank the people who lit the fire. You'll thank yourself for not letting it end you, for turning it into fuel, for turning it into flight. You are still here. After everything they did, after everything you faced, you are still breathing, still standing, still rising. That is not weakness. That is power. The kind of power that doesn't need to shout, the kind that doesn't need to be seen to be real. Because survival isn't silent weakness. It's the loudest roar your soul can make. And you've earned that roar. You didn't crumble. You didn't quit. You transformed. They thought the fire would silence you. But they didn't know that your silence was strategy. They thought their rejection would define you. But they didn't see that you were learning to define yourself. They thought their absence would break you. But they didn't realize it only made room for your strength to grow. Every flame they sent only made you burn brighter. The real victory is not revenge. It's not proving them wrong. It's waking up every day and choosing to keep going even when it's hard. It's building a life that doesn't rely on their approval or apology. It's knowing that healing, growth, and strength are all choices you made while no one was clapping, while no one believed in you. You didn't need their permission to rise. And now they don't get to control the story. The most beautiful part of your rise is this: you carry fire now, but it doesn't consume you. It fuels you. It reminds you of who you are and what you've overcome. It gives you a calm that says, no matter what comes next, I've already survived worse. And that mindset, that inner fire, that is what makes you unstoppable. When others see you now, they won't see the broken pieces. They'll see the strength that grew through the cracks. They'll see someone who didn't just survive the fire, but became the flame. Someone who now walks with quiet certainty, no longer begging to be seen, but too powerful to be ignored. You don't rise for applause. You rise because it's who you are now. Rising is no longer what you do, it's what you've become. So let them talk, let them doubt, let them light the fire again if they want. You've changed. You don't run from the flame anymore. You walk through it with purpose, because now you understand the fire wasn't your enemy, it was your evolution. And from this moment forward, nothing they throw at you can break you, because you don't just survive fire, you are fire.